Yo, what's going on, guys? Back with another video today. I'm gonna be doing my NBA bracket challenge where I pick who moves on and who I think's gonna win it. I've kind of already done one of these in a different form, but I'm just gonna do it now that the season's over and I know like how things have been going lately. So yeah, let's start off in the East. So we have this is gonna be confusing because I'll probably do another one when the play-in tournament's over, but you have four teams right here. You have the Hawks, Hornets, Nets, and Cavaliers. Basically, it's just like the 8th seed. So instead of deciding who the 8th seed probably is, maybe decide who the 7th seed is, because if one of these teams win down here, then they're not up here. So between the Nets and the Cavaliers in the play-in tournament, I think the Nets are gonna win. So I'll have the Nets moving on. When the Nets playing the Boston Celtics, I think it'd be a really good matchup, but I'd have to pick the Nets. I'd pick the Nets in probably 6, which that'd be pretty interesting because they're the 7th seed, and that's not very likely, but I'd still have the Nets, even though the Celtics were really good. So when you come up here, you have the Cavaliers. They lost to the Nets right here, and they move up here. And the Hawks and the Hornets. The Hawks and the Hornets. I think I'd take the Hawks and the Cavaliers. I think I'd take the Hawks. So I have the Hawks right here versus the Heat, even though it could go anywhere right here, but I'd have the Hawks. And the Hawks versus the Heat, I'd have the Heat. And I have the Heat versus the Hawks in 6 games. Australia would probably push it in 6. So then right here between the 76ers and the Toronto Raptors, I would have the 76ers win this series in 5. And then for the Bucks and the Bulls, this is going to be an amazing first round matchup. It's going to be really entertaining. But I'm going to have to give it to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'll give it to them in 7 games. So yeah, we'll stop there for the East. Now move on to the West. Between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Clippers, I have the Clippers moving on. And Timberwolves and the Pelicans and the Spurs. I have the Pelicans, so Pelicans versus Timberwolves. I have the Timberwolves, so then we have the Timberwolves versus the Suns. I would have the Suns move on. I have them moving on in 5. Yeah, 5. Actually, no, 4. I have them moving in 4. And then for the Grizzlies versus the Clippers, I'd have to give it to the Grizzlies in 6. I feel like Paul George would push that series a couple games. And then moving on to the Dallas Mavericks and Utah Jazz. I am a Utah Jazz fan. It might be a little biased, but Luka did just get injured, and that's really that's really bad. Like literally right before the playoffs. He might be back. I don't know. I'm not for sure on that, but I have to pick the Jazz, and I have to pick the Jazz in 6. Moving on, but as a Jazz fan, I've had a lot of experience with the Jazz losing, so they'll probably lose. But yeah, so then we have the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray is not in. I don't think so, but the Golden State Warriors will definitely win this one, especially when everyone on their team is healthy, and they'll probably win it in 4. So then moving on to the East, you have the Miami Heat and the 76ers. Really good matchup. Have to give it to the Philadelphia 76ers though because of James Harden and Joel Embiid and how the 76ers have been doing pretty well lately. And I have to give it to Philadelphia in 7 games. And then between the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks, I'd have to give it to the Brooklyn Nets, and I'd give it to them in a 7-game series, just like they did last year. So, yeah. And if Cleveland wins this, then this bracket's kind of screwed up because I don't think Cleveland would beat Boston or Milwaukee, but I'm having Brooklyn beat Milwaukee and Boston right here. So then moving on to the West, we have the Suns versus the Jazz. I take the Suns. I take the Suns in. If the Jazz are having a good series, the Jazz would push it to a 6-game series. But if they're having a bad one, it'd probably be a 4 or 5. but I have to give it to Phoenix in 6. And then between the Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies, I have to give it to the Warriors and the Warriors in 7 because Grizzlies are doing really well this year. So in the East, you have the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. This is going to be a tough one. It's kind of a big rivalry. KD and Kyrie versus Joel Embiid and James Harden, and it's going anyway. But I'm thinking right now it would be the Philadelphia 76ers, but it could be the Brooklyn Nets here. But I'm going to take the 76ers, and I'm going to take them in 7. Moving on to the West, we have the Suns and the Warriors. This is going to be a good series. Either way, I think it's going to be a 7-game series. And I used to think it would be the Warriors. I thought they would get it. But I'm having second thoughts, and I'm thinking it's going to be the Phoenix Suns, and I'm thinking they're going to win it in 7. This could change. It used to be the Warriors. I have a video up on YouTube right now with my predictions from like a couple weeks earlier, and I had the Warriors and the 76ers, but it's changed a little bit, and I think the Suns are going to take the 76ers, but yeah, or the Suns are going to take the Warriors. Someone between the 76ers and the Suns, I gotta give it to the Suns. I gotta give it to them, and I have to give it to them. In this is gonna be a tight series. I have to give it to them in 7. And yeah, that would be my bracket. And it says tiebreaker. What will the point margin be in the game 1 of the NBA Finals? I'll say margin means the amount someone won by. So I think this is the Suns. Suns would be 105. Well, the point difference. Let's see if you can type. Yeah, I think the Suns would win by 7 points in the first game. So yeah, that's gonna do it for my bracket. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, bye.